A tale as old as time, a love-struck young man who will do anything to win the heart of his beloved. The Elixir of Love is set to grace the Charleston Opera Theatre next month, and we are happy to welcome them back to our Spotlight Music Series. We're joined today by its Executive Director, Harold Meers, and Wojciech Milewski, the Music Director. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having us.
So this is an Italian opera, The Elixir of Love. How do you pronounce it in Italian?
It's L'Elixir d'Amore, so it's a melodrama giocoso, which is a fancy way to say it's just a melodrama, rom-com. It's got fun, it's got laughter, it's got comedy, but it's got a little drama, a little intrigue. It's a fun way to say that.
Can you tell us about this opera?
Well, it's kind of the classic underdog story, right? Where you have this love-struck boy, he's kind of common, and he's in love with a girl above his station.
Okay.
And there's a handsome rival, the sergeant, that's also wooing her, and this traveling salesman shows up who goes from town to town peddling this kind of snake oil concoction that he has, saying it cures all these things. And he convinces the young man that it could be a love potion as well. So he thinks if he drinks this magic elixir, the elixir of love, that Adina will fall in love with him. Okay. So that's kind of the backdrop of the story. Okay, and so you mentioned rom-com. So the story is about love and deception, but there's a comedic element to it. How do you guys balance the two?
I think it's done for us. The composer did such a beautiful job of interweaving these classic kind of comic opera elements in the beginning of the opera. The way he introduces all the characters is just this funny sequence of introductions, if you will, and then there's a little musical moments of, okay, this is a deep moment, we have to pay attention here, but just enough to make you kind of wonder, and then we jump back into the comedy. So it just kind of seamlessly weaves its way through the plot line, which is just really perfect if you're a first-time opera goer. It's really easy to digest, it's easy to enjoy, and you're just taken on a really, really smooth ride.
Yeah, so this is a good starting point for people who maybe want to get into opera but haven't yet. So why did you guys choose this opera in particular?
Well, it's well known. I mean, it's one of the most performed Italian operas historically. The music is great. It's, our last year we did Don Giovanni, which is very serious, not that it doesn't have its comedy. Yeah. And we wanted to mix it up a little bit and offer this. There's a sense of nostalgia too about this piece, and because of that, we've actually transported the setting of a little bit, rather than set in mid-1800s in Italy, we've actually moved the setting to rural Midwestern United States in 1942. Okay. So the backdrop for this story is sort of World War II, and it's a very nostalgic era, and Americans love a good underdog story. Yeah. So it kind of made sense to move the setting to that.
Always. And so the cast, is it local, international?
It's international. We have some amazing vocalists. The singing is going to be stellar. The orchestra led by the maestro here is going to be stellar. And one of the things I think we've become known for is the quality of our presentations, and this is not going to disappoint.
Absolutely not.
Yeah. So I have to ask, what are both of you most excited for someone to come? What do you hope that they take away from this performance?
I hope they fall in love with opera. If they're not already opera lovers, I hope that they walk out of the theater full of laughter, but also feeling like, wow, I just had a transformative experience artistically. And that's sort of the goal that we're trying to achieve, is just have a really high-level product, but also something that you can just walk home and think about and let it sit with you for a week or two, and it makes you want to come back for more.
That's beautiful. So this is October 6th it starts.
October 6th and 8th.
October 6th and 8th. And what theater is this at?
The College of Charleston Sottile Theatre. So it's right downtown of the college.
Perfect.
Beautiful old historic Sottile Theatre.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can purchase tickets where?
You can find tickets through our website, charlestonoperatheatre.org, or through the George Street box office, either online or by phone.
And we are getting a sneak peek after the break. We're going to have a performance. Can you guys talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. This is one of the introductions I alluded to earlier. This is the introduction of the handsome sergeant Belcore, which is a funny alliteration of meaning beautiful heart, if you will. So it's actually the character's name. But he sings his first aria, Come pari de vezzoso. It's like all about how Paris of Troy gave an apple to the most beautiful woman. So it's all this sort of mythological just wordplay. He's trying to seduce Adina with his words and his knowledge and his look how much I know about Greek mythology. So it's just this kind of aria that's sort of beautifully bel canto, but it's also just kind of funny at the same time. So
Absolutely. Well, I'm so excited to hear it, gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're back in 2 minutes.